Alright, you guys, how's it going? So today we're gonna do an oil change slash oil review on my truck here. And right now I have the Pennzoil Ultra Platinum with Pure Plus technology in it. I got it because I was surfing around YouTube looking for oil for my truck, and yeah, I came across this stuff about 6 months ago, and I love it. And just the fact that it's made from natural gas. So, and I just want to get it out of the way right now. Pennzoil is not endorsing me or sponsoring me for anything. This is just my personal opinion with the oil. Right now I have 8,000 miles on the oil, and honestly I could probably get a couple more thousand out of it because all my driving is strictly highway. It's very little of it is stop and go traffic, and when it's pretty brief, so there's very little stress on my engine, so it's always hovering right around 2,000 RPM on the highway. Very little work. This engine does have 154,000 miles on it, and it's a 2007 Ranger. And this is my first, the oil that's in the truck right now is my first synthetic oil that I've ever put in it. Ford does call for synthetic oil for this truck, but up until 6 months ago I was just running conventional oil. Yeah, I did notice a noise difference. My engine was a little bit louder, and that's to be expected with a synthetic oil. It is the same viscosity that the engine calls for, and I hope you guys can see that, but it's like super thin. But and it's got really a nice sort of golden honey look when it's right out of the bottle. Yeah, so right now I'm just letting my engine cool off and from running down to the store. But if you are going down to O'Reilly's, O'Reilly's is the only one that I know of that's doing the this deal because it's the closest auto shop to me. But for $34 you can get 5 quarts of this and then whatever filter is on sale. And it's like a package that they offer. They had a Wix filter for $34 with that, but I upgraded to the Mobil 1 filter. Before it was a Bosch filter. Yeah, I haven't had any problems with the oil. I've pulled the dipstick out a few times recently, and it's actually, I'll show it to you now. But it's still got great color. Like I said, I think I can get about 2,000 more miles out of it. So yeah. So pop the hood. Let's get some light in here. And so this is the color of the oil with 8,000 miles on it. Yeah, so it's still got that golden color to it. So it's not even close to blackish yet. So my auto tech teachers at Oxnard were a bit skeptical of the fact that it's made from natural gas. But if you're gonna find new ways to get energy and whatnot, and lubricity products or lubrication products, why not use what you got? So but yeah, there's a whole bunch of cool videos on YouTube of their commercials and whatnot and their claims. And someone on I believe it was the Accurate TL forums, and he went ahead and ran, I believe it was the Mobil 1 synthetic competitor to this oil, even though it's still made out of crude oil. And he ran that for the scheduled interval, and then he switched to this and ran it for the scheduled interval on his normal commute. And he sent both samples to a lab. I believe it was either Polaris Industries or another one that I can't remember the name. But he had both the oil samples analyzed, and it came back that this stuff was a lot cleaner than the Mobil 1. So maybe that does contribute to the fact that it is derived from natural gas. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and start draining the oil really quick, and maybe I'll catch a little cup of it or something to show you the oil and how it looks. Alright, you guys, so the oil is trickling out now. Pretty much everything's drained out. I'm just letting it do its thing. But I went ahead and got a sample of the oil. On the left, we have the original, like right out of the bottle oil. And this oil has about 8,200 miles on it. And, you know, it is, after seeing it in the glass, it is a little bit dark, but it still is transparent. Yeah, you can just see how thin it really is. And then, so it has thickened up just a hair from what I can see, because you can see how nice and easy that's moving. And then, I mean, they're still both, the viscosity is very low, or high, I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, that's how the oil looks right now. So it's still got a nice caramel color to it. But, yep. I don't see any grit that I can see sticking to the side of the glass, which is good. If I had an oil filter wrench, I would tear that open. But yeah, so yeah, I'm happy with that. You know, as long as I'm not seeing really any chunks, I know that the filter's doing its job. But so. Yep. But if I wasn't so cheap, I'd actually send that out to Polaris or something to have them analyze it. But you know, unless something drastic happens to my engine, then I know it's running well. So yeah, so I'm just gonna let this thing vent and just let gravity take it down. So so yeah, that's the oil, guys. So you know, it's I may try and get a shot of me pouring it in the engine, but I don't know how successful I'll be at that. So, but yeah, again, this stuff is it's born from natural gas, and it's highly innovative. You know, I can't imagine the time, money, and effort that went into making this oil. So, and $35 for, especially for synthetic. $35 for 5 quarts and an oil filter. You can't beat that kind of price. So, and I've heard some negative things about Pennzoil, but you know, the one thing you have to look for right here is the where is it? There it is, the API donut. And as long as it has that stamp, then the American Petroleum Institute has certified it for gasoline engines. There's another number that's a little bit reclusive, I like to say, because it's a little bit hard to find, and it's called the ILSAC number, and I can't remember what ILSAC stands for, but it's some long abbreviation. But that is the manufacturer's number, a code, if you will, for what oils that you can use. For instance, I looked up the ILSAC number for my truck, and the only one that O'Reilly's that Ford says not to use is O'Reilly's brand of oil. I don't know why. Is it good or bad oil? I don't know. But yeah, so I just go off what the manufacturer says, because that's what they built the truck for specifications for. You know, and it's the same thing with spark plugs, oil viscosities. You know, like my transmission fluid change, for example. I thought it was going to be 90 weight gear oil since it's a manual transmission, but Ford says to put ATF in it. So you know. Transmission hasn't blown up yet, so, but yep, so I'm gonna stop rambling, and we'll pull the filter off, and maybe take a peek inside there somehow, or not, I don't know, and then we'll fill her back up. Alright, so the old filter's out and everything looks good from what I can see. Everything's buttoned up down below, filter's on, drain bolts torqued down to spec, and we'll start pouring here. Yeah, you can just see how thin that stuff is, but this is what Ford calls for, so at least the viscosity. So that's the rest of the, because this truck only takes 4 quarts. So I'm just using what's left of the other one from last time. But now it's time for the big one. And I know it's a huge debate topic of whether or not to pre-fill your filter or not, but I guess it just saves me the trouble of actually having to start the truck up, you know, twice. I can just start it up once to make sure the oil gets cycled through properly and whatnot. So, I don't know. And fairly soon, the video might be up on Saturday or something, but or maybe Friday, depending on how fast it edits and uploads. But I'm doing an oil change on my dad's Mercedes. He has a 2008 C350, and I'm going to be doing it the more traditional way of, check on my dog. I'm going to be doing it the more traditional way of actually, you know, going up underneath the truck, or that car, and, you know, taking the drain bolt out like I did with this instead of using the sump over there. Because the car is so low that unless you have like a lift, it's pretty hard to get the drain bolt out properly and everything. So I think we might actually be good. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep topping this off. You guys know the routine, so I just thought I'd show you the oil. So but yeah, like I said, I'm extremely happy with the oil. I don't regret buying it twice because I bought it again. Yeah, that's really my review, guys. I mean, I know it's not the most in-depth or accurate thing. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could geek out and send that to Polaris, but this is just my experience and what the oil looks like after 8,200 miles. So, and the fills are still in pretty good shape. So, yeah, comments, questions, leave them down below. Feeling generous, hit that like button. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Take care.